practice and practice and practice. You know, Mozart or the poet who said, if I don't practice one day, I notice it. If I don't practice 2 days, the band will notice it. If I don't practice 3 days, the audience will notice it. Means that it goes through the whole process and you have to rehearse and then do. That's why you see those seasoned project managers, they know what to do because you have all this experience, the tacit knowledge and everything. And when they come there, that's why that, you know, the salary scale you saw them, the 6-digit plus, that's why you get paid because the value you deliver to the organization is huge. That's why you're going to go in and bargain. So because that has an integration view. Okay? Good. So what's the definition of, by the way, you have to pay attention on the definition because they will ask you on that definition. So what's integration management? It's a process. You see, this is a process. Out of the 47 processes, it's a process, okay? It's a process and activities to identify, define, combine, unify, and coordinate the various processes and project management activities within that area. So it's just like, you know, your central point. And it includes characteristics of unification, consolidation, communication, integrative action that's crucial to the control of the project. Okay? It's making choice about resource allocation, completing projects objectives, and then do some alternatives. Because you do that a lot of alternative analysis and business case and then on the whole line yards. Okay? And if you are advising, the mayor or the county executives or the director, they expect you provide them a guidance. You remember, it's you are strong as what? The strength of your weakest link, yes? You're the chain. And that is where actually you see that, sometimes people just put themselves into that, bigger role and, without seeing, the smaller one. Because remember, if you pay attention for the smaller action, then that smaller action goes to the other one. So you have to have someone who can say, wait a minute, let's just step back and then see that big picture. That's all about integration. And then managing interdependence among the project management knowledge area. You see a lot of interdependence here, yes? You can't just execute one of them and expect the result. It's just like a recipe that you're going to have all of this to have a big project, and that recipe is seen in that integration management area. Okay? So 6 processes identified by PMI. You develop the project charter. You have heard a lot about charter. What is it? What is charter?
Final document.
The final document. Proposal. Where do you think the charter is developed? Authorized. Charter is, it's just like this small 6-7 page document that covers, okay, this is a project that will be done by this and this, and Mr. X will be the project manager. The budget is going to be this, and this is how the communication, and this is how you start. So technically it's in the Bible. You take this charter and then you further decompose. The charter is kind of a binding document that will work. So that's where charter is always up. In the initiation, you develop the charter. Of course, it's a living document. It gets updated every day. But in that charter, Daniel, to your question, you're going to have a key stakeholders on that charter who will be making that decision. How is it? If you go back and then Google about charter, you will have like a standard charter area. By the way, you're going to have tons of deliverables in project management. At times, they are confusing. But this is one document that you're going to have Because remember, that is actually the document who authorized the project to go to the bank. Okay, this is, you remember what those big governments, between the two governments, they sign and then they shake hands. That's the charter. Then they give it to their assistant, and then they split it into major areas in their area. Okay. Now, what is the project management plan? It's called PMP, not the certification, but a project management plan. Okay, that's another confusing term, but a project management plan, but nothing but it's the whole plan that has everything here. Okay, it says that, okay, if I want to develop a web-based learning management software, then my scope is the scope management and the time management plan. So it's a collection of those plans into one, and that's called the PMP. So when you come to my class, technically you develop a project management plan at the end of the class. And for that plan, I give you a set of requirements. And I will have a one-to-one session with you as if I'm a client and you are a contractor. I give you what I want, and I give you when I want, and then you're going to develop each plan. And then you will give me the answer as if like you are building a brand new actual project. So that's the PMP. Okay? And, direct and manage work, monitor, perform, and then close. So this is, these are like the 6 sections in the project in the integration management plan. Okay? So initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and then closing. But still, we are under, what you see in the lower part here, in the vertical part, what you see, you're going to see here. Across the board. Okay, so that is another flavor of the tools and the techniques used for that. So, charter. So I asked you earlier, and here's the definition. It's the first process devoted to developing a document that formally. So one question that comes directly from PMI is, what's the purpose of a charter? Is a document that authorizes the project and assign the project manager. Okay? Formally authorize the existence of a project and then provide the peer the authority to apply organizational resources to project activities. So that is the definition of a charter. A charter is like a high level activities. So what's included in the charter? Roles. Do you remember the RACI matrix from your management class? Okay, the RACI matrix is roles and responsibility matrix where you put your RACI matrix something like this, and you define the activity, you define the role, or role one, John, Martha, and then for every activity is called A is accountant, C is consultant, R is responsible, and you actually define. So that means that this guy is responsible for a specific task, this guy is consultant, and then this guy is accountant. Means that you do this RACI matrix after you define your stakeholders analysis and after you define who is doing what. So that is what the roles and responsibility of the key stakeholders. Okay? Sponsors. So who are the project sponsors? The senior executives or the guy who's paying the money. Okay? They are the sponsors because they are the one who's going to sign off in your document. So sponsors and their power and interest. What is also included? The scope and decision-making hierarchy. Who's going to make a decision? In many of those charters, you'll see that if the project requires over 50,000 change control, then it's going to go to the sponsors. And the PM has an authority to sign off into those project costs that this amount. So these are like a standard that we do. And of course, partnership agreement between performing and requesting organization. So when you go home, just bring your Google Charter, and then it will basically show you what is included. But these are like the recommended section that need to be in. Okay. So the PMP is the process of defining, preparing, and coordinating all subsidiary plans. So these are, scope management plan, time management plan. So these are all subsidiary plans you put together into that project. Okay? It creates a central document that defines the basis for the project work. When I first joined one of the projects, they gave me this big document, and then they call it this is a PMP. And when I started going through, they really did a good job splitting every single activities when you wanted to measure, how you wanted to measure, who would be responsible for that. And from that point onward, I take that PMP with me, and I pretty much, use it for my other projects. Because at the end of the day, you need to have that project management plan for all of the activities. In that case, you know exactly